All right. We are back with another episode on the That's So Supa podcast. My name is Supa. I'm your host for this podcast. Hope you guys are having a good time. Hope you guys are chilling, vibing. Just like me, we always chilling, we vibing. But welcome back on a new episode. And this episode is called Looking Back at the Past. And it's just like as it says in the title. We're looking back at the past, and we talking more about some things in my life growing up, and some of the memories that I'll be reminiscing about, some good, some bad, and some all right memories. And then we're gonna talk about some of my favorite things growing up. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's get it going, baby. So the first thing I want to talk about is some of the craziest things about getting lickings, right? And if you don't know what lickings is, it's like our slang term in Hawaii of getting disciplined or getting smacked the shit out of you or whatever you want to call it, whatever you guys called it growing up in your guys' culture, but getting lickings, my gosh. And like I said in the other episode, I grew up with some Samoan parents and it was not fun. I tell you that. It was definitely not fun. But I got to bring up one memory when we were little kids, me and my siblings. I forgot exactly what sibling it was, but so we were little kids and we were playing and we had bunk beds. And if you guys are the same like me and my siblings and my cousins and my friends that I grew up with, we loved bunk beds. And when I tell you we loved bunk beds, like we fought over who got the top bunk. And honestly, I think I got the top bunk for like a little bit, but I ended up sleeping at the bottom. I forget, it was a long time ago, but anyways, back to the story. So we had bunk beds and we're playing in our room, and like I said, I totally forgot which sibling it was. It may have been my sister or probably my brother after her, but we were playing and my sibling climbs up to the top of the bunk bed, right? And I'm over there like, you better not fall down or whatever, but we're still playing or whatever. And the moment I leave the room, so I go to the kitchen. I think I get some food or whatever it is. The reason that I go outside of the room to go do something. Immediately after I leave the room, all we hear is a big ass thump. Like it was super loud. Like we thought like a 100-pound brick fell off the wall or something. That's how loud it was. And immediately I thought, there's no way that my sibling just fell off the bed. And all I could think about was like, I am going to get in trouble. My gosh, bro. So everybody rushes to the room. I think it was my mom or whichever. One of my parents rushed to the room and there goes my sibling on the floor, freaking crying and then he like when he was brought up, or my sister or my brother was brought up, you see a big ass lump on their freaking forehead. And immediately my parents turned to me and blamed me for it. I'm like, why am I getting blamed? I wasn't the one who climbed up there. I wasn't the one who fell off. You know what I mean? I was outside. And my parents turn around and say, Star, why didn't you let your brother or your sister go up there? I'm like, I didn't do nothing. And then I get lickings. You know what I mean? Like, not the sibling that actually did the wrong action. It was me. Because I'm the oldest and I'm supposed to, right? I'm supposed to look after them, right? I'm supposed to tell them what to do and what not to do, what's right from wrong. And mind you, we were freaking little kids. We were young. I think I was like 6, 7 years old. And my sibling, if it was my sister, she was 2 years younger. She was 4. Or if it was my brother after her, he would have been 2. And so obviously they don't know any better. They're just going to do what babies and little kids do best. They don't listen. and I get the blame. So, I don't know, man. Looking back at the past, man, growing up, and even, well, maybe not till this day, but looking back at the past, I got the blame for a lot of stuff. And if my siblings, if you guys are listening, don't deny that. Don't deny that shit, because you guys already know I got the blame. And I took the blame. Because that's what big brothers do, right? That's what older siblings do. We take the blame. We take the punches. So that's just the way it is. Oh man. But it was a funny time, man. It was looking back at it, it's funny that it happened, but in the moment, that it's always like that, right? In the moment, whatever situation, whatever stuff happened, like it's not fun at the moment. But then later on down the years, as time goes by and you think back at it, you're like, bro, that shit was hilarious. And I thought it was hilarious because that shit didn't happen to me. I didn't have the big ass lump on my head walking around and people asking questions like, oh, what happened? What happened? And then immediately everybody looks at me. Yeah, Star, what did you do? I'm like, me? I didn't do anything. Oh my gosh. I want to bring up another memory. So we're on the subject of getting lickings, getting disciplined, getting smacked, or whatever you want to call it again. There's this one time, right? There's this one time. I know this was my sister. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was my sister. So I'm using the bathroom. I'm taking a shit, and we're about the same age, right? As the last memory. So I'm taking a shit, and I hear this whole commotion going on outside. I hear yelling, I hear crying, I hear things falling or whatever it was, just a whole commotion. And immediately I already knew that my sister was getting lickings because she probably did something wrong to piss off my dad or my mom. I forgot who it was, but actually it was my my dad. So after I'm done, it's just such a convenience to me that I'm done taking a shit and then the whole commotion is done. So I walk outside and all I could think to myself was like, damn, I'm next. That's how it was. One sibling gets lickings, all the siblings get lickings. It's just a matter of when, right? But, I walk outside, right? And I look around and I don't see my sister. I don't see my dad. And so I'm kind of scared. I'm about to shit my pants again, right? And then the day goes by and my dad probably went outside or he probably left or whatever, right? And my mom comes home. She's mad at my dad because obviously she knows that my dad gave her lickings, and she immediately turns to me. She's like, Star, why didn't you protect your sister? And in my head, I'm like, I couldn't do anything. I was using the bathroom. And my mom goes, still, you're supposed to help your sister. Now look at what happened. And da 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 da. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you getting mad at me? I did not do anything. And she's like, exactly, you didn't do anything. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I was making doo-doo. You're kidding me right now. I'm getting the blame when I didn't do anything wrong? Whatever my sister did, she clearly did something wrong to piss off my dad, and then I get the blame. Oh my gosh. Just looking back at it now, man, that shit was so funny. It's so funny thinking about it because I clearly couldn't do anything because I was literally sitting on the toilet taking a shit. and I'm over here listening to everything that's going on. Mind you, we're little, right? Because I was so scared, I just sat on the toilet. I took my shit as long as I possibly could so that I don't have to go out there and get lickings too. And so I guess in a way I could have finished faster. I don't know how you do that. You just cut it and go. I don't know what you guys call it, but I could have probably took a chance and just stopped it early and just went outside and come outside as Superman like, no, I'm here to protect my sister. Smelling like shit. Bro, but like I said, man, in the moment it was not a fun memory, but looking back at it now, it was pretty funny. This, at least on my end, on my end, it probably wasn't funny for my sister, but it's funny on my end, bro. All right, so one thing that I want to bring up, I want to talk about, since we're on the topic of getting lickings, right? So as we got older, right, the lickings started getting more because as we got older, as teenagers, we became more hard-headed. We became a frustrating teenager, I guess we can call it, right? A teenager that thinks we thought we knew everything. We thought we knew better. It's like something is told to us, and we're like, I know, Dad, I know, Mom, and then boom, we get slapped just like that. Like, you talking back to me, huh? I'm like, no, I was just telling you, I know. Like, no, that's talking back to me. Bah, done. But what I wanted to bring up was, whenever around that time, whenever I got lickings, it was a good thing that my family, my aunties and uncles or my cousin's house, they were kind of nearby. And so I would run away to my auntie's house and hide out over there. And I tell you one thing, Polynesian families, Pacific Island families, they're so close knit that like their house is your house, right? So every single one of my aunties, every single one of my uncles or my family members' houses, any one of us could just go sleep there for the night because what do they say in the Hispanic culture? Mi casa, su casa. That's just the way it was. And so I ran away to my family's house to, get away because I don't want to get lickings, right? I would just be waiting there, scared as shitless, because obviously my parents would know exactly where we went. And so I ran away over there for a couple hours. I'm good. I'm safe, or whatever you want to call it. And next thing you know it, we hear knock, knock, knock. Star, get your ass in the car. And that's it. It's over. I go in the car and it's over. Oh my gosh, man, it's so funny, man. There's so much times that I get in the car, because then you either get lickings in the car or you get lickings at home, or you get both. There's just no hiding from it. There's no running from it. You're gonna get lickings regardless, because that's the way you get disciplined, right? You do something wrong, you do something stupid. Yep, you get a slap on your head. You get a slap on your freaking your face or your arm or wherever. Slap on your ass. That taught us to not do that anymore, or do whatever we did wrong anymore. So there's one time in the car I did something really pretty bad, right? And I think I was only 8th grade, right? I was still young. Growing up, my parents said no having girlfriend, no having boyfriend to me and my siblings. So, but me, like I said in my last episode, I had a girlfriend from, I think, the 7th grade. I've started having a girlfriend or whatever. So I was in 8th grade at the time, and I brought over, I think we were on break or something, and I brought over a girl to my house, and it was just me and my baby brother. And my baby brother, probably 2 or 3 years old. So, he's in that stage of like, kind of talking, but you can't really understand him or whatever, but he understands, you know what I mean? He understands what's going on around the house or whatever is going on. And so I brought a girl home to the house while my mom was at work, my dad was at work, my other siblings was at school, and I was off of school. So I put my little brother in one of the rooms so he can play, so that my girlfriend can come and hang out with me. And like, I didn't want them to see each other because I had a feeling that my little brother was gonna tattletale on me. So throughout the day, we're hanging out or whatever, and I didn't know that my mom and my siblings was gonna come home early. And so I hear the car outside, and immediately I am scared shitless. I don't know what to do. I'm all frantic, whatever. And my girlfriend at the time was frantic, like didn't know. She was like, her brain just like clicked off for some reason. And I'm gonna tell you why. What happened was, so I hear the car coming, and the garage is opening, and we're in the house, and my brother comes out because of the room, because he hears the garage opening too, and he sees my girlfriend, and he goes to the garage, and I tell my girlfriend, get out the back door. The screen door is right there. Just open it and walk around and wait for my mom's them to come in the house, and then you can book it. You can go. She's like, okay. So she goes to the screen door, and I go to the garage. I open the garage door and I close it behind me, and I'm over there playing it off. I'm sweating my ass. I'm like, oh, hi, you guys are home early. And then my mom is still grabbing stuff from the car, and my brothers, they can't wait to come home, right? So they come inside the house. I forgot exactly what happened, but I go in first. I go back in the house first, and I look back, and tell me why my girlfriend is still at the freaking screen door inside the house. I was so mad, yet I was so scared. Oh my God, you couldn't believe how scared I was. Like, I quickly closed the door back on my brothers because they were still trying to come in the house. So I closed the door and I ran to the back screen door, and she's like, I don't know, like she's so frantic that her like I said, her brain just turned off. And I'm like, oh my gosh, click this up and open the screen door. So I opened it up and I told her, go, go, go. I was like, get out of here. And I turned around and one of my brothers like comes in, but he's not looking our way. He looked straight to the kitchen. And then I look back and she's gone. And then I look back at him. Then he looks at me. And so I'm like, okay, I don't think he saw her. And then I'm over there sweating my ass off, and my other brother comes in, and then my mom is right behind him. And my mom just like, I don't know, she just had the sensor. She just had the sense that something was wrong. I don't know, like, can you guys tell me in the comments that like moms just have this like superpower of like knowing when things happen or knowing when something is wrong or something is off? Because my girlfriend was clearly gone. She was away already. And she comes in and she's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And she's like, "What's going on?" So I'm like, "Nothing." And then I walk out to the garage, and the garage door is not closed yet. So I walk out to the garage, and then I just walk out to the, kind of stroll into the street just to kind of like, look to see if she's gone. But then, I try to play it off. And then I come back in the house, and my mom is sitting with my youngest brother who was home with me. And oh my gosh, I swear to God, I thought it was the freaking devil looking at me, because my mom just had this like eyes on fire looking at me. So she looked at me and I'm like speechless. I couldn't say nothing. And my mom's like, "Who is here in my house?" And I'm like, "Nobody. What are you talking about?" So like, "Who is in my house, Star?" And like, you know when parents are like getting more pissed off and more pissed off because their voice gets louder, deeper, and more louder and more deeper. And so I was like, "Nobody was in the house. I don't know what you're talking about." Like, I'm getting so defensive answering to her. And she's like, "Star, there better not be anybody in my house. If there was, you're going to get your ass beat." And then immediately after she said that to me, she looked at my youngest brother who was home with me, and she said, "Was there anybody in the house?" Like, oh my gosh, her voice changed to like an angel after she talked to me like the devil, right? Turned to my brother, "Was anybody in the house, Rain?" And then Rain was like, "Uh-huh. Uh-huh." I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Bro code? Come on, this is the bro code. I know you're too young to understand that, but still, it's like embedded in our blood, in our system, in our sibling blood system, whatever you want to call it. And my brother just freaking gave me up just like that. And then my mom was like, "Did you have a friend over?" I'm like, "No, hi, geez, oh my gosh, why you like da da da?" I was so defensive. And then she's like, "Who was it? Was it a girl?" Like immediately, I'm like, "No, it wasn't a girl." And then she goes back to my brother, "Was it a boy or was it a girl?" And then my brother goes, "A girl." I'm like, oh my gosh, it's over for me. I'm done. You guys just paid for my coffin. Freaking assholes. Assholes. Oh my god, my mom ripped the shit out of me, man. She freaking came and freaking, oh man, I started getting a beat down. And then she stopped and she was like, "You know what? Wait till your father come home." And I'm like, oh man, it's a double over for me. Oh my gosh, just thinking about it, man, it was hilarious, but it's still scary just thinking about it, because I knew I fucked up, man. Fucked up. And my one brother was not gonna protect me. He gave me up, man. He gave me up. Later on in the day, right? Oh, you know what? My mom kicked me out. She was like, "Yeah, I'm done with this. Wait till your father come home." And we started going back and forth and whatever. And then my mom was like, "You know what? Get out of my house. Get out. Get out. You don't want to follow my rules? Get out." And I left. And so this was within like a 5-minute span of time. So it felt like so long, but it was so short. And I left. And I knew which bus stop my girlfriend ran to. So I took the same route. I started booking it, running, and I finally get to the bus stop. I think it was like 5 blocks away. So I finally get to the bus stop, and I see her, and oh my gosh, I'm shaking my head. And she already knew something was up, because I was there. I was all sweaty. It looked like I just got beaten up. All she could do was shake her head, and she felt bad, man. She felt bad, and I was man, I didn't know what else to do but to go there. And what we did was we caught the bus. We went to her place, and I told her I can't go home. If I go home, I'm dead. And that's the truth. And she's like, you can't stay here, because she had her stepdad who was just like the same. Her stepdad was not gonna take any shit. Like, like it was the same thing with her stepdad and her mom. It was like, no boyfriends, at a young age, nobody come over. And so she was like, "You can't stay here." And I'm like, bro, where am I gonna go? I'm gonna be homeless or whatever. So I didn't know what to do. And I realized that one of my best friends from school lives here too. So I was like, all right, I got a plan. I'm gonna go stay at my friend's house, and I'm close with him. You know, we're really good friends. His parents are really good friends of my parents, and so I had this whole plan where I was gonna go play victim to to the my friend's parents, and ask him if I could stay the night because I'm scared and da da da, and it worked. I mean, but legitimately I was scared and I didn't want to go home. So his mom let me stay, and we were just hanging out at the house. And oh my gosh, the crazy thing was he had his girlfriend over. It was his parents was a little bit more lenient. I mean, they're strict too, but it was like supervised, right? His girlfriend was there. And I was like, oh my god, whatever. It's whatever. At this point, I'm all bust up, and I'm talking to his mom, crying, and she's like, don't worry, Star. We're gonna take care of it. You stay here. It's all right. Our house is your house. Get comfortable, and then we'll call your parents tomorrow morning. And so later on in the day goes by. I think it gets to like 8 o'clock at night. And I'm over there. I'm still like kind of scared because I'm like, bro, I haven't heard from my parents all day. Like what is going to happen? And will I be able to go back home? Or do I have to like find places to live every day? Next thing you know it, I'm in my friend's room and we're just hanging out. I guess I think it was a door knock or it was a doorbell that rung. And my friend's mom goes and answers the door. Not even two minutes later, she comes into the room. She's like, Star, your dad is here. He's here to take you home. And I'm like, looking with puppy dog eyes, right? The puppy dog eyes, because I'm like, please save me. Don't let him take me, please. Oh my gosh. Oh man, just thinking about it is so cringe, man. It's so cringe. But she was like, I can't do nothing, Star. If they didn't come, I would have let you stay, but that's your parents, I don't have no authority. And I'm over there, I'm getting up slowly, I'm moping and I'm walking slow, scared and shivering. So whenever I was scared, right, I would like fiddle with my hands. I would like clasp my hands and like it would get sweaty, and then I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but you could tell I was nervous. And so I'm walking slowly to the door. My friend's mom is next to me walking, and then immediately when my dad sees me, he didn't even say like anything else. He didn't say thank you to my friend's mom or whatever. He just looked at me and he said, get your ass in the car, and he walked out. And immediately when that happened, I'm like, oh man, thank you, Auntie, for helping me. I won't see you anymore. Oh man, that shit was scary as shit, man. So we get into the car. I do this thing where I got the seatbelt on. I'm holding the seatbelt with my hand to where like my arm is like across my chest. That's my protection. I was protecting my chest, my body from my dad just whacking the shit out of my chest. And tell me why. The whole ride, it was straight silent. It's like somebody pressed the mute button, because the whole ride, my dad just had his one hand on the wheel, driving straight home, not even speeding, like nothing. He didn't have a mean face or he didn't say anything to me. He just drove home. And I'm over there scared as shit, like tensing up my body so I can like, take the hits whenever I got hit. You know what I mean? I was preparing myself for battle. Pulled up at our house. Same thing. My dad looked at me and he said, get your ass in the house. He walked out the car, walked through the door, and he closed the door behind him. And I'm still in the car. And slowly I take my seatbelt off, open my door, stand outside, close it. I look at the front door and I don't want to go there. I don't want to open it. And mind you, I think it was like a good 2 minutes from the time my dad walked in the house till the time that I actually got to the door and I started opening it. I opened the door. I walk inside. I turn around to close the door behind me. Oh man, immediately when I turned around, pop, it was over at that point. Oh man, I'm sure like that was probably the worst lickings I've ever gotten in my life. I can't remember any other time. But if you guys are if you guys are watching on YouTube, go ahead and comment down some of your worst memories of you getting lickings or you getting disciplined or whatever it was. Next thing you know it, my mom comes in and stops my dad from disciplining me, and then my mom's like, see what happened? You don't want to listen to our rules? You're not going to live here. If you're in this house, you're going to listen to our rules. because it's our house, my house, not yours, my house. And she said, go shower, wash your face off, wash that freaking, wash the blood off your shoulder. Oh man, I walked into the bathroom. I felt like it was in a movie because I walked into the bathroom, closed it, and I put my arms on top of the sink, and then I look up and I look at myself, so disappointed. I think about my consequences, think about my actions. I literally thought about my actions, and I was like, why the frick did I do that? Why did I not follow the rules? That was some crazy times. You know, us Pacific Islanders, especially living in Hawaii, like if you go visit Hawaii, there's probably, my percentages are probably way off, but it's probably 1% of people that live in Hawaii bought their own house, lives in their own house. The rest of the 99% of people that live in Hawaii is living with another family. You know, my mom and her sister have always lived in the same house with their families for the longest time. That's how close I got to my cousins, because we lived in the same house. We lived under the same roof. We basically grew up together, waking up, going to the same bathroom, brushing our teeth in the same bathroom, going to the same school. And I tell you what, man, it was some pretty good memories. You know, I loved living with my extended family for a number of reasons. A lot of people may say that it's not a good thing. I mean, if you put it in certain perspectives, and yeah, you know, it could be overwhelming. You know what I mean? Because you go to your own house, you kind of, you know, it's your space, right? You know, you want to do whatever you want in your house. You know what I mean? But the way that it needed to be done in Hawaii, especially, like, you needed to live with other families because it was so it still is so expensive to live in Hawaii. Like, it's rare for anybody to buy their own house. So we always grow. Every time we moved with my auntie them. Us growing up as little kids, we had a blast because we got to hang out with our cousins every day, whether it be playing video games, going outside, riding our bikes, playing with like fidget toys. Like, it was fun. I'd tell you that. It was fun. Me and my cousin grew close. We had our ups and downs. We had our fun and bad memories. And, you know, as good as it was living with my extended family, there was a lot of bad stuff. And one of my memories that, you know, made it bad was, you know, me and my cousin, we got into a little fight. You know, I don't even think it was a fight. I think I was just being petty, or not petty. I was just being irritating, and I was shooting him with the freaking water gun, and he kept getting mad, right? And so he was like, one more time you shoot me with the water gun, I'm gonna throw this rock at you. And so I'm like, okay, fine. And I'm walking away slowly with my little smirk on my face. And then once he turned his back, boom, 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 I'm shooting him with the freaking water gun. And then he's like, oh, you dummy. He starts to look for a rock, and I'm like, oh shit. So I threw the gun and I start running. I start booking it. And, you know, I could only run so far because we had a fence, you know, a gated fence with, you know, grass or whatever. So I'm running along the fence. My cousin's looking for a rock, right? And so he finally picks one up. According to him, he said he was trying to just scare me. And so he said that he threw the rock. He tried to throw it in front of me so that I get scared. The rock was going in the air, and I was running across the fence. And the next thing you know it, instead of the rock landing in front of me, it lands on the freaking side of my head. And next thing you know it, my ears are ringing, my head is ringing, I'm getting dizzy, I can't even stand straight. My other cousin runs outside. She was wondering what that loud noise was. It was like a loud thump or whatever. I forgot how she explained it, but my cousin that threw the rock, like, they came straight to my head, and they're like holding my head, and the other person's holding my body, and they're taking me upstairs in the kitchen. And so we get into the kitchen, and my cousin lets go, and she's like, hold the wound so that the blood can stop. And I put my hand on my wound on the side of my head, and I was so freaking scared, man. I was so scared because all I could feel was a freaking hole in my head. Like if you was to stick your finger in your ear, and that's how it was at the side of my head. So they had to take me to the hospital. I got stitches and whatnot. And oh man, I will remember that for the rest of my life. And I'm not mad at my cousin. That's just a moment in my life that I will never forget, because it was a big ass rock too. Yeah, man, that's just one of the bad memories that happened. But some of the other things too is like, you know, the other cool things about living with my cousins. Like whenever even on school nights. So this is why I would get in trouble all the time, right? On school nights, we're told to, after school, we got to do our feaus, do our chores. If you don't know what feaus is a Samoan word for chores. So if you're Samoan or Polynesian, you guys know feaus. You guys know what I'm talking about. But you have to do your feaus, your chores, and then you have to do your homework, do more chores, and then you have to go to eat dinner and you go to sleep because it's a school night. You can't stay out late. You can't play outside too late. You can't play games. What I would do is I would do everything that I needed to do, and I would eat my food really fast. I would sneak into the little, I guess, game room, you could call it, because that was the room that had the Nintendo 64 in it. And I would sneak in there, and my cousin would sneak there too, and we would play on a video game for freaking hours, and we would lose track of time. And next thing you know, all I hear is, Star, where are you? Get your ass over here. You gotta go to bed. And then here comes my dad. Here comes my mom. They come and find us. They're like, what the hell are you doing? You're not supposed to be playing games. Get your ass upstairs. Go to bed right now. Don't lick me, please. Don't slap me, please. I just wanted to play video games every day, man. Every day would be the same thing. I wouldn't listen. Well, I would do all my chores. I would do whatever we needed done. And then I would go book it to play the video game. Oh, man. Such fun memories. Fun memories. Yo, that brings me to the next subject. I was going to talk about some of my favorite video games growing up. And as I mentioned, the Nintendo 64, man, that was like the one system that was like mine, but not mine. It was like me and my siblings and my cousins. So we all shared it. But man, playing that Nintendo 64 brings back so much memories, man. There's so much games that we always played. The Nintendo 64, the Game Boy, the first PlayStation. It was crazy. It was crazy times, crazy times. Let me tell you something about the Nintendo 64, though. That was something else. Some of my favorite games playing on that system was the Crash, Crash Bandicoot, Sonic. Don't get me started on Pokemon Stadium. Oh, Pokemon Stadium, that was like addicting for me. I could not play that every day. I always wanted to play Pokemon Stadium because I was such a challenger. I like to challenge people, to beat them, a competition, right? So we played Pokemon Stadium to see if we can, because there's different games. It's kind of like the Olympics. You got different types of games, and then different Pokemons would, do those games. As you guys playing the game, you're challenging between the 4 players, who gets the best score. And so I've always wanted to play every single game. I had some of my favorite games in that game to where I thought I was good at, man. Like there was one. They had shot put, they had discus throw, they had there was one, the competition was like the fastest to dig this hole to like a certain distance, and then you would win or whatever. So you had to use like the 2 buttons at the top of the controller, and you had to like freaking tap it super fast, and it had to be alternating because you were digging with 2 hands. It was fun, man. I loved it, man. Oh my gosh, I just thought of another game, and I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me. This is the classic 007. Who freaking remembers playing 007, man? That game was something else. And I think that was the first-person shooter game. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Like, if I'm wrong, then tell me which game was the very first, like, first-person shooter game. And I think that's what made 007, like, super popular. Because it was the first game that you had a gun at first person and you can aim down sight with the sniper or whatever gun it was, and you had to go through like a story mode, trying to defeat whatever level it was. And oh man, it was freaking amazing. It was amazing. There was one funny thing about the Nintendo 64, just looking back at it, right? The way that the game was, it wasn't a disc, right? Like how the PlayStation was for a long time. Well, it still is, like how it is now, right? With a disc. It was like a I don't know how to explain it, but it was like a really fat floppy disk. It was like this thick. It was like probably 4 inches wide, 3 inches tall, whatever. And you had to like insert that whole thing into the top of your Nintendo 64. And the funny thing about it, if it didn't work or if it didn't turn on, you pulled that bugger out, and the part where you had to like slide it in, where it has the male part into the female, so the game had the male part to it, and you had to freaking blow like the dust off or whatever it was. Even if there wasn't dust, you still blow on it to just, I don't know, just to make it magically work. I don't know exactly what it really did. All I know is if you like blow all the dust out, whatever it is that's causing it not to work, it's gonna work. And so, and then after you blow it, you put it into the game, give it a good couple taps, and then boom, it's freaking working. But that brings me to the freaking PlayStation and the Xbox. You know, those were the systems, you know, that really took off. And right now, I will tell people that like I'm a PlayStation guy, and that's because I chose the PlayStation. That was my thing. Because every time a new system came out, like the PlayStation 1 came out, and then the Xbox came out, and then the PlayStation 2 came out, and the new Xbox came out, and then so forth. So every time the new one came out, I would always trade in my old system for credit and then, you know, buy the new one. And I went through every single one just to test which side I liked, the PlayStation or the Xbox, and I liked the PlayStation better. I don't know why. I just did. I chose it. I think mainly because the controller was smaller. PlayStation gang, baby. Where you at? Xbox was good too. Not gonna lie. Xbox needs batteries though. All right, let's talk about some favorite food growing up. And the first thing I want to tell you guys that like growing up, I was such a picky kid. I didn't like a lot of things. I didn't like vegetables. I didn't like seafood. I was very picky, and it was, I don't know why, but it was based off of how I saw the food. If I didn't think it looked good, I wasn't gonna like it. I told myself I wasn't gonna like it, so I didn't try it. And every time I was offered, no, I'm sorry, I don't like it. Like I knew I didn't like it, you know what I mean? But I didn't know because I just went off of the looks. I really, really loved my home cooking. You know, my mom's cooking, my dad's cooking, my aunties, uncles, anything home cooked, that was like my thing. I loved it a lot. Like some of my things that I loved growing up, like my dad cooks really, really good fried chicken. My mom can kind of just put anything together and it'll taste good. Like I don't know if she has like a specialty. I can't say, right? I think my siblings could agree. I don't think she has a specialty, but her specialty was being able to just put whatever we had in the kitchen together and then it was a good meal. All I know, we were full, we were fed, and we came out, you know, looking healthy. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta say, man, I gotta shout out to my aunties and my uncles. You know, they can cook on the grill. You know, anything that's on the grill, ribs, steak, whatever's on the grill, freaking barbecue chicken. Oh man, they could do it all. But my aunties, man, my aunties can make some good green salad. My one auntie cooks a great green salad as well as like a 5-layer dip. My other auntie makes a great potato salad. Like she'll make potato salad and she'll make crab salad. Like, oh, so good. One of my aunties freaking pork and beans. Oh my gosh, to die for. Like I really kind of craving that right now. Man. And then my other auntie, like, it's like the best at bringing, you know, Little Caesars pizzas. I'm just kidding. One of my other aunties, oh my gosh, she makes a really good tuna roll. Like it's so simple, just a tuna roll, and it's freaking like amazing. Like I'd rather eat my auntie's homemade tuna roll than go to an actual sushi bar where they make it like professionally. I don't know why, but us, you know, Pacific Islanders, man, we could cook, man. We could cook. Just like some other cultures out there, we know how to season. That's all I know. That's all I gotta say. If I wasn't eating home cooked meals, freaking McDonald's, Jack in the Box, those were my places. A lot of people don't like Jack's. They'd rather have Taco Bell. Nope, I'd rather have Jack in the Box and McDonald's. Like the cheapest things on the menus, bro. They were like the best things to eat over there. The breakfast Jack was what, $1, or I think it was like $1.99. And then the junior bacon, oh man. It's like these burgers were so small, but they were so cheap. And so we ordered like 3 or 4 of them and we'd be full off of that. Like, bro, it was so good. Curly fries, can't go wrong with curly fries. Me and my shakes. You can't take my shakes away from me. I always order a chocolate shake over there, or even the Oreo shake. Even though it makes my stomach freaking crumble and I gotta go take a shit after, I still freaking order it and drink it. I tell you what though, Jack in the Box, the best drunk dinner that you can get. Open 24 hours. Especially in Hawaii. There's like specific Jack in the Boxes that you go to in Hawaii because you know that's like the best one. And then like back in the days, they used to not charge for extra buttermilk, but now they charge like $0.25 per buttermilk or whatever it is now. It's freaking mind-blowing that they charge now. It's crazy. Because growing up, bro, it's like, oh, can we get extra buttermilk, please? And, bro, they didn't just give us 1 or 2. They gave us a whole handful of extra buttermilk. And you know what we'll do with the ones that we didn't finish? We kept that in our fridge for the next time. Tell me, if you guys are living in Hawaii right now, go to your friend's house or whoever, your family member's house, and go look at their fridge. They're going to have buttermilk or some kind of sauce from a fast food restaurant. I'm telling you, they're going to have one in there. But McDonald's, I tell you, I'm going to tell you my secret. McDonald's, I called it the chronic burger. Some people call it something else, but there's a process of how you make my chronic burger. So there's 2 burgers to it, right? There's a sandwich and a burger. So I get the McDouble, I order it plain, and then I get the McChicken. And so what I do is, right, I open up the McDouble, I got bread patty, and then I put the bottom half, I take the top bread off of the McChicken, and I put the rest of it on top of that bottom half of the McDouble, and then I'll grab sweet and sour, so it's either sweet and sour or honey mustard. I'll drizzle it on top. I'll take the whichever bun that I want to take, I'll put the bun on top. There's my chronic burger right there. So here's the layers, right? You got bun, patty, bun, chicken, lettuce, mayonnaise, sweet and sour or honey mustard, and then bun. Oh my gosh. For the longest time, I've been saying I should pitch this idea to McDonald's and then I'd be rich after that. But that was my go-to, man, back in the days. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm freaking loving it. If you guys are enjoying the podcast, or if you guys have any suggestions, I really do appreciate it. Please follow the podcast on Spotify, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, hit the notifications so you guys know whenever I post the next podcast. It's going to drop every Monday at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So just in case you guys, forget, put that notifications on, and then, you guys can listen on into the next episodes. The final subject, man, final thing we're going to talk about is, all my memories going to school growing up, right? I like to tell people that I didn't have like your typical growing up kind of schools kind of memory, because I went school from, kindergarten to 4th grade. And typically in Hawaii, it's 5th grade, and then 6th, 7th, 8th is middle school, or some people call it intermediate. And then 9th to 12th grade is high school. But for me, I went to school from K to 4, and then I was sent to private school from the 5th grade all the way to when I graduated high school. And so I started, I guess you could say I started a high school kind of early, because it was like they integrated 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th into like the high school campus. So we were always around the high schoolers. We were always around like the, the big football stars, the other, the basketball players and whatnot. And it just felt like we was already in high school. But I went to a school called St. Louis. I know I brought it up last time, and best football team in the state. But there was a lot of fun memories. There's a lot of bad memories. I mean, everybody goes through bad memories in high school. Bully or whatever, not passing a class, or waking up late, or the typical memories. But there was some things that like I freaking will never forget. Let's talk about phones real quick. I was pretty young when I had my first phone, like my actual cell phone. And I got the really tiny Nokia phone, where I think the only game on there was Snake. And that was like my game. Every time I caught the bus to school, I played Snake on my phone. And yes, I caught the bus. And you guys may be thinking it's the yellow school bus. No. At 5th grade, I had to catch the city bus. And we lived about like an hour away from my school. So mind you, at 5th grade, right? Waking up early at 4 o'clock in the morning to get dropped off at the bus stop because my parents had to go to work. They couldn't take me all the way to school. A young kid catching a city bus, with all these freaking, who knows, people nowadays, right? They do stupid stuff. But, I was a Samoan kid. I was bigger than the usual, right? But I caught the bus at 5th grade all the way to school. And I had my little Nokia phone and I played my Snake and whatever. Like, I thought I was the man. I thought I was the shit because I had a freaking cell phone. And then I got to the private school. Typically, the students that go to private schools, they come from, most cases, they come from a well-off family, right? And so I'm over there thinking I'm the shit. I got a Nokia. And there's these other kids there, and they bring out their other more expensive phone. Like they had like a Nextel, like, the topper of the liner phones compared to my little Nokia phone, which we had to buy like minutes, and I couldn't use the minutes, unless I was calling my parents. And like, shoot, I was 5th grade. Who was I calling? You know what I mean? It was for emergencies. It wasn't until like, I think it was 6th, 7th grade, we got into the flip phones, we got into the keyboard phones. What is it? The Sidekick and the Razor, the Crazer, the Blueberry. Yeah, was it Blueberry? The Blackberry Blueberry. Oh my gosh. The Blackberry. Bro, those were the shits, man. And my favorite out of all of them was the Razor. because I liked flipping the phone up. It had like a sleek and futuristic design because it had LED lights going through the numbers and whatnot. And bro, when I tell you I was a professional at texting with one hand, I was a professional, because literally texting, trying to hide it from your teacher, you know what I mean, like this, and you're hiding it the side of your table or your desk or the side of your leg, whatever, and you're just freaking typing away like bup, 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 done. Send my message, good, easy. Bro, I swear it was so fun. But the one thing that was super funny is the ringtones. And if you guys remember, the only way that you could get ringtones is if you record it from your actual phone, and then you had to Bluetooth it to other people. Like, you couldn't just, like, not all phones had like the internet where you could just download the file from the internet. A lot of people recorded their music, and then that was their ringtone. And obviously it was like a one of a kind. Like, you know, if you didn't record it, you're not going to have it. So all I remember was showing off my ringtone. Like, no, I'm not even getting called or nothing. I'm like, bro, look at the ringtone I got. Start playing the song. They're like, bro, Bluetooth that to me. And I'm like, bro, Bluetooth me the song that I want on your phone. You know, a switch. And so that was the shit, man. I that's all I wanted to do, was find new ringtones from other people's phones and get that on my phone. There's a couple more stories I wanna get to real quick before the end of this podcast. But there was one time when I was younger, catching a city bus, and you know, I was super tired one day, and I missed my bus stop. You know, I fall asleep on the bus, and I missed my bus stop probably by like maybe 3 bus stops, so maybe 2 or 3 blocks away, right? And all I could remember was waking up. I didn't recognize where I was, so I got super scared. And I told the bus driver, like, I missed my stop. Like, can I get off? Can I get off? And we stopped at the next bus stop, and I crossed the street to the other side, and I'm over here booking it with my freaking heavy ass bag. And we had school uniform, and we had to tuck in our shirts. So like, I wasn't in like regular plain clothes, right? I was in a uniform booking it. And by the time I got to my school, I was drenched. I was so sweaty because our school was on the top of the hill. So I had to run on top of, like, going up a hill. Never again I'm falling asleep on a bus ever again. I think I was scared because I didn't know where I was. And then at the same time, I was scared because I didn't want to be late to school, because my freaking parents was paying for me to go to school. So I was like, bro, I am not going to get in trouble for my parents because I got reported that I was late to class. No. No ways. Not going to go through that again. You know what I mean? You know, every time I think about it now, I just want to laugh at my stupid self, because I just realized, well, not just realized, but I realized that, yeah, I crossed the street to the other side, but I could have just waited at that bus stop to catch the bus back because I had a pass, instead of booking and running and sweating all the way back to school, running up the hill. I could have just caught the bus back. But I was so dumb. I was so scared that I wasn't thinking. All I could think about was getting to school on time. And so I just started running. How stupid am I? There was not much to do, man. Like, especially in Hawaii. I think I said it before, but if I didn't, then here it goes. Like, there's not much to do, man. If you're not playing sports, you know, or if you're not in a club or whatever, when you get out of school, you either go straight home, or you go to the beach, or you go to the mall. That was like the 3 things that you did. Like, there wasn't much to do, so you go beach, you swim, you body surf, you bodyboard, or you go to the mall, you walk around, not even doing nothing because you don't have money to buy anything, so you just walk around for some, I don't know. We did it a lot. I walked around the mall acting like I could buy something, but I couldn't. Or you just go straight home. There was not much to do. Oh, the one place, I tell you this, man, the one place that I loved to go to after school, if I didn't have nothing, was 7-Eleven. You guys heard me right. 7-Eleven. I know 7-Elevens in the mainland is all right. They're not all that great. It's just a regular, like, gas station type of place where you get snacks, drinks, or whatever. But let me tell you this, man. 7-Eleven in Hawaii was freaking amazing. It was like a mini restaurant over there. You had your regular snacks, yes, your chips, your candies, your drinks, you had alcoholic beverages there. I mean, I didn't get alcoholic beverages then because I was too young, obviously, but icy, they had coffee. Aside from all of that, they had bentos, they had musubis, they had Arizona iced tea. Anyways, bento, there was different types of bentos. Bro, they even had They even had they had sandwiches, they had sushi. Oh my gosh, bro, they had everything. Whenever we didn't have lunch, we go across the street to 7-Eleven. We got a whole freaking lunch, and it was all cheap. It was all cheap. It was the musubi was like $1.50, and the musubis was great. And it wasn't only your simple spam musubis. There was spam katsu musubi. And if you guys don't know what a musubi is just a bed of rice with whatever protein on top, which is a spam or the chicken, or an egg with spam, and then it's wrapped in seaweed. We call it nori wraps. So it looks just like a sushi, but a spam version, and we called it musubi. Oh my gosh, man. All that memories. I think I spent like $1 million at 7-Eleven, if I'm being honest. Or you can be like The Rock. The Rock just, stole a bunch of Snickers bar like every day of his life when he went to the school in Hawaii. Yo, did you guys see that? If you guys didn't see the video of him going back to Hawaii, and he went to that same 7-Eleven that he would steal Snickers bars at, and he literally grabbed every single Snickers bar in their inventory, brought it up to the cashier. He said, "I'm paying for all of this." He just wanted to kind of make up for all the Snickers bars that he freaking stole back in the day. It was a crazy thing, man. It was a good thing that he did. It's like, some people may say it's like stupid, but it's a small little thing for himself. You know what I mean? Because he felt bad that he stole all his things. And you know what I mean? That's people's money's out of pockets. Whoever owned the 7-Eleven, whoever created Snickers or whatever, you know what I mean? He's taking money out of other people's pockets for what? Just to steal, and because he didn't have money, or even if he had money, he just did it just because. And so just that one little small act of kindness or I don't know, realization that he should give back in some way. I mean, yeah, he could have made a big donation to 7-Eleven or to Snickers company or whatever, but he went to that particular 7-Eleven because that's where he stole from. And it may have been stupid to people, but I thought that was very honorable, or whatever the word is, but you know what I'm talking about. I thought that was a really good action on his part, showing the type of person he is, making amends from his mistakes. You know what I mean? So shout out to The Rock, man, my uncle. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's not my uncle. The Rock, if you ever listen to this, then I know I've made it. Yeah, guys, we're coming to the end of the podcast. I appreciate it. It was a good episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said before in the last one, if you guys are watching on YouTube, go ahead and drop some comments. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what you didn't like. Give me suggestions or any ideas that I could do on my next podcast, or any ideas of how I can make myself look more pretty so it's more enjoyable. Whatever it is, drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button. And if you're listening on Spotify, follow the channel, follow the podcast, like it, save it, do whatever you need to do to support this podcast, because we gonna make this big. All right, I'm here to entertain you guys, give you guys some insights of what's on my mind, thinking about whatever that comes up, my opinions on stuff, and crack a few jokes here and there, laugh, have a good time, chill, vibe. And that's what we all about, man. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one, baby. Yes, sir.